hilarious. However, this is important to ensure that we don't spend our sessions at Parliament going over mic proceedings. It is very disorderly. And every effort was made to conceptualize a mechanism that is in keeping with the standing order, but that works for you. Let me stop that right now. You will have an opportunity, every member in this House, to do your constituency debate and to grandstand.
Thank you.
At statement by Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Standing orders and the operations of Parliament, I will advise you. Statement by Minister is followed by a 5-minute response. It is the only response that is made in the House to a statement by Minister. After which, only questions are taken. And your questions need to be exactly that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Please avail yourself of Standing Order 11A with also emphasis on Standing Order 17, subsection 2.
Thank you, Madam.
Members, I am sure all of us, member, please take your seat. Would like to proceed. The order in respect of statement by ministers, and I'll reiterate it because I do not think any member is desirous of standing and making a statement when you have been advised by the Speaker that it is not to be done. You are required to stand and ask your question. And it is for the efficient order of this Honourable House. And it is for every single member of the House. So members, whether from the government side or the opposition side, may ask a question. And it is only a question that you're allowed to ask at this juncture. It is necessary. No, it's not going to be. Member from Northwest St. Anne, from Northwest St. Catherine, you same one member. And if I call your name based on the standing orders, so we could have finished long time. But it is obvious that it is going to be a consistent practice, so it ends today right here. Member, when you're called, ask your question and take your seat. Keep your mic on in the event that your question is not properly answered. Members, additionally, do not stand and ask a question that was already asked. Member from St. Mary, Southeast.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and Minister. Land slippage has been a feature of these systems. In fact, over the past few days, we have had a lot of rains in Southeast, and we have had significant landslides blocking several roads. In terms of the engagement with the NAA as it relates to clearing of these roads, Minister, I'm advised that there is a reluctance on the part of the contractors
Member,
to...
Member, point of order.
Yes.
Point of order. The question being asked by a member must be related to the statement made by the minister.
But I'm going there. I'm doing that.
The minister is not in charge of landslide.
But we
You
are
can't ask
talking
me a
about the
question.
system.
Okay? These new members need to know the rules. You can't go landslide and road on the environment and climate change. It has nothing to do with what it says. The question must be related to the statement made by the minister. That be in relation to the statement by the minister.
Yes.
Your leader of opposition business stood. Okay. Would you be so kind as to allow him?
Madam Speaker, I am very much aware of your intention, but I just am asking, Madam Speaker, especially as questions are framed, for there to be some leeway in allowing the member, especially where the issue is already raised in the statement, as it was. And it was just in reference to that statement that the question was being framed. I'm asking, Madam Speaker.
He didn't stand on a point of order, however, he was given the latitude as he was speaking on behalf of the members on his side of the House. So that's why I permitted the member to speak. Thanks, opposition, leader of opposition business. Members, I am happy to sit here very quietly until you are ready to continue with the sitting. Member from St. Mary Eastern, from St. Mary Southeastern.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The member on a point of order from St. Catherine Southwest is actually correct. I have heard the pleadings of the leader of opposition business in the House. However, the statement by the minister is as it relates to the weather system, even if reference is made to landslides. In respect of questions you're asking about landslides and clearing of blockage and its connection to NAA, or in fact, even, that's what he asked. I listened to his question. I'm not sure if some persons even listen. It would not be an appropriate question for the minister based on the statement he made.
But with
so phrase your question in keeping. And members,
Madam Speaker, the issue that we are discussing in terms of the system...
No, member, ask your question, and that's not an appropriate question.
Can they, and thank you for allowing me, Madam Speaker.
Ask your question.
Can the minister advise me and the House if, because as I said, there is a difficulty in terms of contractors indicating that they are not getting paid to clear the road.
Member, please take your seat. Member, take your seat. The member from St. Mary Southeast, please take your seat. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, I think, as has been said, I think the House would flow a lot better if members would go directly to the question, right? There is no need for a preamble, right? Just ask the question as you were about to do, and then we would recognize that the question that you were about to ask is not in the remit of the minister who gave the statement. So I would say to members, just go directly to the question. If there is need for additional clarification when the ministers are answering, they will ask. Just ask directly the questions.
In East, you may now turn your mic on. Do you have any other questions, member? So, member, once again, I hope you took note, ask your question. And member, this is an observation that has been said to every single member of Parliament in the previous dispensation. And I would want to also say it for the benefit of every member here. None of us as members of Parliament are to be involved in any procurement and contract arrangements. So please refrain from those type of statements or questions. No, member, hold on. So the arrangement of turning on your mic is what allows you to speak on your mic. You should not speak in the House. That is the standing orders.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and that's why I was given the context, but I'll ask the question specific. Is the minister aware that the outstanding payments to contractors No. Member from St. Mary South East, take your seat. Member from St. Catherine. Member from the member from St. Catherine Southwest, what is your point of order?
The issue I've already ruled on that issue. Payments by NW has nothing to do with Minister of Environment, Climate Control and Water. And he makes no mention in the statement by Minister. Questions must be related to the statement made by the Minister. And you already ruled on that. Did he talk about payment? You nincompoop. Did he speak about payment?
The member from St. Catherine East. The member from St. Catherine East, please ask your question. Leader of the opposition. Leader of the opposition. Leader of the opposition, you may make your statement on the mic as the leader of the opposition bench so that I can have it properly recorded. No, he's making a statement. Do you have a point of order? Do you have a point of order? Do you have a point of order, member?
Madam Speaker, I wish to state that members of Parliament are
What's
not...
your point of order, member?
I find the line of questioning by the member to be very dangerous. As members of Parliament are not party to contracts between the National Works Agency and the contractors. So it is very dangerous for a member without having access, unless they have access to the books of the National Works Agency, to stand in Parliament to make claims about payment of contractors without providing any evidence of it. Are you a party to a contract between the government and contractors? It's a very dangerous activity, Madam Speaker. Very dangerous.
Thank you, member. House Leader.
So, Madam Speaker, I appreciate that we do have new members in the House. And, you know, it does not have to be in a spirit of acrimony. The Speaker is trying to give directions in relation to the question that is being asked, guidance. Now, the standing orders say clearly that the proper object of a question is to obtain information on a question of fact which is in the official cognizance of the minister to whom it is addressed. So if the Minister of Environment gets up and speaks, and you start by asking him about the NWA, which is not under, you start by asking him, guys, you start by asking him about the NWA, which is not under his purview, then that would not be a proper question. And that's what the Speaker is saying. So once you start like that, then the Speaker and other members will intervene to say that on a point of order that is not what is meant. So what I would say to you, Speaker, if the member can ask a question that does not fly in the face of the standing orders, that is something that the minister has under his portfolio, there will be no problem. So if you ask that question, fine. But if you don't, if you start with something, then the Speaker will intervene. Thank you, Speaker.
Members, as Speaker of this Honourable House, I listen very keenly to the statements made when questions are to be asked. The question being asked by the member is improper and so ruled. Please move on from that statement. It is your third time being told. Your third time being told. You may ask for clarification, member from St. Catherine Northwest.
Appointed to a particular portfolio. In that statement, paragraph 5, the minister said, and I quote, "We are particularly mindful of the potential for landslides in our mountainous parishes, especially in areas of soil saturation is already high." Therefore, I am confused as to how it is that it is not appropriate within a question to this particular statement, regardless of the minister's portfolio. The minister was appointed by the government to make this particular statement. Therefore, without being properly briefed...
Member, thank you very much. You may take your seat. No, member, you may take your seat. Member, take your seat, please. Member, take your seat, member. Member, take your seat. Member. Questions. Page 8 of Standing Orders. Number 14, nature of questions. Questions may be put to a minister relating to any subject or department with the responsibility for which he has been charged, or with regard to which he has been assigned the responsibility of answering the questions. Member. Members. Members. Members, are there any more questions? Members, are there any more questions?
Madam Speaker, I had written to you earlier, and I'm not too sure if you are...
Member, please do not speak about writing to me earlier unless it is that you are aware that your communication has reached me. I have nothing that you have written to me about. So, Leader of Opposition Business, any statement you will be making in respect of writing me, I would like to be written to and see such first. Statement by ministers. My last ask, are there any other questions on this statement by minister? Any other question on this statement by minister? Leader of Opposition Business, you would have to come and indicate to me exactly of what you speak. Because, yes, you may approach. Member, that's not how the speaker operates. So I'm going to say it for the final time. Your question must be as it relates to the statement that was made by Minister today. Your question must be exactly in keeping with the statement by Minister. That is the ruling. Your question should not be questions about National Works Agency, Ministry of Health, and all the other ministries that this minister is not responsible for. All your questions must be questions in respect of his statement and ministry. So this is my last time. And that is a ruling of the Speaker. Member from St. Mary, Southeast.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The minister, in his statement, said this administration is one that puts the concept of
just go straight to the question,
government.
member.
Is the minister aware of outstanding amounts?
Please take your seat. Please take your seat. Please take your seat. Members, are there any other questions in respect of the statement by Minister? Are there any other questions? The member from St. James West Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my question to the Minister is about the preparedness protocols of the relevant ministries and agencies. Where can they be accessed?
The member From Westmoreland Central.
Emergency funding being made available to satisfy like drain cleaning and stuff like that, knowing that we're still in the hurricane season.
Are there any other questions? Minister? Oh, you have another one?
Madam Speaker, I am here on behalf of the residents of Southeast St. Andrew who are anxious because 4 weeks ago, when we had heavy rains,
what is your question?
I'm coming to it.
No,
I am coming
ask
to
your
my question. I am coming to my question.
Members, it is very evident that the questions are not in respect of the statement by Minister. The member from Westmoreland Western, from Westmoreland Central, his question was not in respect of a statement made by the Minister, and neither is this question being asked by, neither is this being asked by the member from St. Andrew Southeast.
Madam Speaker.
Member.